Welcome to Intentional Excellence Elevate Your Life podcast. I'm your host, Candice Ruggiero. I'm a speaker, podcast, and live show host, aspiring author, and an entrepreneur. This podcast is all about pushing past limitations, transforming struggles into growth, and stepping into the best version of yourself. Today, we're diving into a powerful conversation in our series, The Lost Child Finding Yourself Beyond the Past. You see, many of us experience moments where we feel disconnected from who we are, questioning our identity, purpose, and our direction. Childhood experiences, especially painful ones, can shape the way we see ourselves and the world. But no matter where you come from or what you've been through, you have the power to reclaim your story. I am beyond honored to have today's guest join me for this conversation. Joining us today is the incredible Allure Unique, a woman who has transformed her struggles into strength through her brand Real Struggle Strength, or RSS, motivation. Again, Real Struggle Strength Motivation. She uplifts and inspires others by sharing her story and teaching them how to turn their pain into power. RSS is more than a movement, it's a community offering motivational speaking, outreach programs, and educational resources to help people shift their mindset and habits. Allure Unique is a single mother. She's an author, a motivational coach, and a leader dedicated to helping others unlock their full potential and live unstoppable lives. I am just so honored. Allure, just want to welcome you to my
Thank you.
show.
Thank you
How
so
are you, my
much.
friend? How are you?
Yes, ma'am. I am doing well. I am doing well. And I just want to extend my gratitude for this invitation to be able to grace your show today. So
Well,
thank you so much.
I equally feel the same, and um, I did share with a lot of people that I'm only choosing 10. I had a lot of people interested. I'm only
Yes.
choosing 10 people because I know that your stories are so powerful that a lot of our viewers will resonate with it. So
Yes.
I'm just so excited meeting you, and I know in the beginning she already, like you've expressed that, I'm here to share my story, and I just can't wait. I can't wait.
Yes.
Um, Allure, did I forget to mention anything? Do you want to add anything more about yourself that I maybe forgot that you want?
No. The only thing that I would like to add in about
Hmm?
real struggle, strength, motivation. Well, first off, let me start over. First
Uh-huh.
off, let me let you know that my name is actually Kiera. um
Okay, can you
throughout
say
the
that
time
again?
when I yeah throughout the time my name is Kiera, but throughout the time when I was going
Sure.
through my transformation of the Lord shifting and changing me, he gave me the name Allure Unique, which is a definition of who I am as an individual, which allure means powerful, and of course you all know what unique means. And that's where that name came from, because he was letting me know that I still had power. You know what I mean? Even though I was in a low place, that I was still powerful. And that's where Real Struggle Strength was built from. So Real Struggle Strength was built while I was going through my own personal struggles. And I do come from a street aspect, but I come from a theological platform. So
Okay.
this is a real thorough brand, because I let you know that until you drop that ink and dock with the Lord, to know that the struggle is
Yes.
your strength, until you are G'd out with him, this is the only way that you will be able to come out. This is the only way that you will be
Yes.
able to overcome any obstacle, any trial, tribulation, any struggle. And I'm not just talking about, because when people hear struggle, they think of financial. Yeah,
Right. Right. Right.
but
It's
no,
part
we're
of it,
talking about
but not
mental. We talk about mental struggle. We talk about emotional struggle. We're talking about spiritual struggle,
right.
because a lot of people are spiritually dead. You understand what I mean? And they
Yes.
fail to realize, because my goal is to bring forth living ecstasy, which is a state of wonderment and mental clarity, to let them know that they have to let that spirit man rise over that fleshly man, in order for them again to gain the confidence that they need in order to proceed and succeed on yet in the battlefield of life. Then they'll
Right.
have real struggle strength. Then they'll be G'd out.
Wow.
So yes.
Well, the fact that you have a new name, Like you're carrying a new identity, which I see it as something positive, that you actually went through those pain and made you transform into another person. And at maybe you needed a new name just to prove to everyone that I'm a new me. My
Yes.
new me, my new
Yes.
name just signifies a new person, stronger than ever. I like that style. It's not just
Yes.
a brand. It's like to show to people that I'm okay to change for the better.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I
Yes.
love that. Thank you.
Yes, yes. And that's also so I do have my book out, which is a testimonial. It's Real Struggle Strength. The first part one is called Headed to the Streets Through Trials and Tribulation.
Oh,
This is when I tell of what I went through. And actually I just got some good news right before I got on here with
yay.
you that part
Yes.
two is ready to be published right now. And that is from Princess to Trendsetter to Docked and Anchored with the Lord. So
I'm so happy
yes.
for you. I'm so proud of you. I haven't
Yes,
met you in
ma'am.
person.
I
This is
know.
the first time. But I can feel your
But
energy. I
thank
can
you.
feel your strength. I can
Yes,
feel your strength.
ma'am.
And I
Yes, ma'am.
can't
God
wait.
bless you.
You too. I can't wait to dive deep into how you have become Allure Unique. Let's start.
Yes.
Okay. But by the way, I'm here podcasting from Florida, America. Where are you from? I'm going worldwide. Where are you from?
I'm actually here in North Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So let's start. Can't wait. Allure. Many of us have moments in our lives when we feel disconnected, unsure of who we are or where we belong. For you, Allure, was there a defining experience that you left you feeling lost? And perhaps share how did that moment impact the way you saw yourself?
So honestly, I've had those moments. I've had those moments as well. And I'm gonna be honest. It puts you in a dark place.
Yes.
It makes you feel unaccomplished. It
Yes.
makes you feel unwanted. Um, it makes you feel unsuccessful
Right.
as well, despite anything that you've been through. But what I will say is that even though I've had many of those moments, how can I explain?
You wanna
So
exactly.
so let me say this. So
Okay.
remember I told you earlier, I did tell you that I did go into a deficit moment where I did
Right.
go into taking some little notes. So I'm gonna pull out my notes as well because
Yes.
but
Yes.
so so like I was saying, what I will say is I've had many moments that shocked my sense of identity. Um but one defining moment or experience rather, what I would actually say is when I realized I had became a product of my environment. I was caught up in the streets and I was surviving, not living.
Yes.
If that makes sense. And
It's
I
it's
do,
hard.
and I have an acronym for hustle that states that you have to hunt until living turns into ecstasy. Until, excuse me, hunt until struggle turns living to ecstasy is what it is. And I always let people know because when you're in the streets and you have to hustle per se, you're going to do it by any means necessary. And it's
Yes.
the same way when you are trying to make that shift, when you are trying to come out of something, when you are trying to come out of detrimental state, and whether that's mentally, again,
Yes.
emotionally, or even spiritually. Um, so I was moving through life on autopilot, we would say.
How old were you?
And
How
I'm
old
gonna
were
be
you then?
honest. So I started off hanging out in the streets at a very young age, preferably around like 13, 14.
But did you
Um,
have your parents then?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
Okay.
so my parents have always been involved in my life, but I do come
Okay.
from a single parent household.
Okay.
So my mom was helping, but I'm gonna be honest. My mom and my dad are older.
Okay.
So it was like I was the only, even though I have an older sibling, but I was the only one there. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So it's
You
like
felt, yeah.
I broke out. I broke out, but when I broke out, I went the wrong way. You understand?
Yes.
I went the wrong
Yes.
way, and I can't say that I've never been ashamed of it. I have I several times I have felt ashamed, but now I just use it as a stepping stone in order to
Yes.
elevate and to help somebody else so that they don't make the same mistakes. I am now a single parent of three sons, and actually, my past has defined their futures because they are excellent young, humble men of God.
Mm.
Not troublesome at all. They know everything that I've been through because I let them know that I'd rather them hear it from me before hearing it from anybody else, what I've been through, because I don't want them to ever feel ashamed of what
Right.
I've been through, which a lot of people wouldn't really um chastise my character per se as what they did when I used to run the streets. But as of today, they wouldn't do that because they know I've been redeemed. You know what I mean? So they know, they see what the Lord can do. They know what the Lord can do because they see it through me. Because people who know me from my past, now they understand, you know, and I don't go back to the places that I've been unless
Okay.
I'm going back on a good note, unless I'm going back to show some love or provide some community service or coming out for one of the elders, or if someone passes away. You understand? So yeah.
Allure, is it okay to be really specific? What were you doing specifically? Like when you say you're out there in the street, can you elaborate so that a lot of people will resonate with that? Like we have viewers all over who might be
Yeah.
going through this. Say, is it addiction? Is it something sexual? Like, are you okay to share that?
Yeah, I'm fine to
Okay.
share that.
All right.
Honestly, I mean, if you want me to be straightforward, I was a
Oh,
hoodlum.
yes.
I probably was the son that my mom and my dad never had. Um, I was a tomboy, per se in
Okay.
the beginning. I always had girlish tendencies, but I used to run with the guys.
Okay.
I started using and selling drugs.
Yeah.
I never did. I never preferably did hard drugs per se, but I mean,
Okay.
it depends what you call hard, I would say. But I've
Everything for
never,
me is hard.
yeah, yeah. So, and my very first run-in with the law was
Okay.
when I was riding with a young man that I was supposedly dealing with, and I caught a trafficking charge, and I almost got 10 years in jail. And at that time, I was 19 years old.
Okay.
I went back and forth, and that was in Georgia. So we were
Okay.
going. I was going for my first trip to Atlanta. So I had and I, you know what, I skipped a part. So I skipped the part that I became a single parent at 17.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I had
That's a
already had a
big one. That's
son.
a big sharing.
Yeah, yeah. I had already had a son. I got pregnant at 17, gave birth at
Okay.
18, went to jail at 19.
For why?
19 or 20 actually, just for a rating, 19 or 20. And
Okay.
I almost got 10 years in jail. And
For what
and
reason? Is that okay to ask? For what reason? Is it
for
the drug traffic, the
Yes,
drug?
yes, for the trafficking
Okay.
cocaine. But it was not mine. Unfortunately, the young man that I was riding with, he didn't man up and he didn't take his charge. So therefore, a hands of one is a hands of all. So that's actually would be a great lesson for anybody to know, so that they can know to be mindful of getting in a vehicle with anybody, because even if you don't have anything,
Right.
you still can be
Charged. Yeah.
accused. Yes,
Yes.
yes, ma'am. So like I was saying, it just was so much that I went through. I'm gonna be honest. We probably don't even have enough time for me to go through each one. But I'm gonna be
Okay.
honest. That's a good reason to get the book. That's a good reason
Yes.
to be
Oh,
able to get the
yes.
book, because I
Yes.
talk about everything that I went through inside there. And they are short tales. So they're not over 50 pages per se, but
Right.
I did that for a specific reason, because I also want to be able to get it out in the juvenile justice department, and I also want to
Right.
get it in the prison pipelines, because I want people to know who's going through these things, that they can come out as well. You
Right.
understand? It's for
Yes.
anybody who's going through anything. It hits on, it doesn't, even though I'm telling my story, and yeah, I'm telling about how I was lost and how I became found and how I went astray and this and that. But really, it's a mental,
Right.
it's a mental thing. It's emotional thing. It's a family thing. You know what I mean? I talk about even some of the things that went on with my mom, because my mom suffered from depression for many
Okay.
years. You understand?
Right.
So it's a lot that's in the book. Even though I only focus on me, I don't go deep
Yes.
into no one else, because that wasn't how the Holy Spirit led me to do it. It
Right.
was just me releasing and telling the story. But I do think that I may come back and do like a uncut version where I would combine them and give a little bit more, because I
Wow.
tried not to go too deep in
Of
saying
course.
saying
Of course.
provocative things and stuff like
Right.
that. So it's very clean, but I do think that I may come back. I'm gonna pray about it if the Lord leads me, and I'll do an uncut version where I'll give
Sure.
more in-depth details.
And if you want, my viewers, if you want really more detailed, Allure has her book, and which
Yes.
she will be sharing with us so that you can, just click the link and you can purchase it if you want, right?
Yes, yes, it's on
She's
all reading platforms. It's on Amazon. It's in Barnes
right.
and Nobles. It's on Ingram Spark. It's in many different places. Yes, yes.
Any other? How long were you in prison for?
So, by the grace
I
of
know you said
God,
almost 10 years, like almost years.
yes. So, by the grace of God, what happened was I didn't have a record. So
Wow.
but unfortunately in Georgia they don't care about that. But I was able to get a deal where they gave me 3 months in jail, and they gave
Okay.
me the remainder time on probation. So I did
Right.
3 months in Cochran, Georgia, in a woman's facility, and then I did the remainder. I ended up getting off a little early, so I did 7.5 years on probation.
That's still tough being in probation.
Oh
That's not
yes,
easy.
yes. It's just like walking on pins and needles. Yes,
Yeah,
it
like
just
one
it's
mistake,
yeah.
it could be intentional or an accident
Yes,
can
ma'am.
bring you back to jail.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
How did you manage that?
I'm gonna be honest. God was still leading me even then before I
At
had
that
fully even
point,
transferred.
were you like willing to change that you didn't have to go back? Or were you just like, I know you have your faith, but at that point, it's like what you said, like walking on eggshell.
Well, I'm gonna
Did you
be honest now.
intentionally
I'm gonna
want?
be honest. I wasn't. I grew up in the church, but when I went astray,
Yeah.
that wasn't on my mind. You know what I mean? I always had a
Right.
good heart and a good spirit. But that wasn't on my mind. So yes, I did make some changes. I went back. I started doing nursing work, everything like that, but I
Okay.
didn't fully change. I didn't fully change. I was still
Okay.
smoking marijuana. I was still
Okay.
doing many things. And guess what? Knowing I got to go back to see the probation officer, I'm still doing these things, but by the grace of God. But by the grace of God, I made it through. They never really tested me, and I'm not bragging about that because I don't want nobody to
Right.
think that that they can just get by from that. But I like I said, I just want to be transparent. I was still making mistakes.
You know what? I always believe that things happen for a reason. God wanted you to experience these things so that finally when you're out there saying I don't want it anymore, like you really went through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because like you
yeah.
were still doing it despite the fact that you had probationary, issue.
Yes, still doing ignorant stuff. Lord have mercy. And I'm gonna be honest, it don't
Yes.
seem like it at that point in time, but
Right.
it's a heavy thing when you stuck in a mindset of doing the same old thing. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be honest, people are still stuck in their ways today, whether they're
Yes.
doing stuff like smoking weed or anything like that. But I'm just saying they're stuck in their ways more than what they know. You know what I mean? Like
Because
seriously.
because like what you said in the beginning, everything is part of you. It's part of your mental well-being. It's your mental well-being. It's your spiritual. It's your physical. Everything is part of it. That's why it's
Yes,
so
ma'am.
hard to say no, because
Yes,
you made
yes.
it become you. You know what I mean?
Yes, but the thing is, when you used to doing the same thing periodically, it's hard to come out of that.
It becomes ingrained. It becomes
Yes.
part of you, right?
Yes, yes, yes. And that's
Anything
why I
else
said
that
what I
yeah.
said, like that's why I said, I was careless living. Now I'm careful with my living. You understand? Like all of that
Yes.
now is stepping stones, it's testimonies, it's fuel for
Right.
someone else ignition. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I go
now I
out and I speak to a lot of youth, and I let them know, I let them know that they don't, how important their record is, how it follows them all their life, how it will defer their life. You understand? Not just even a criminal record, a driving record. You know what I mean? Like I let them know because it's important. Because when you
right.
out in the world and you just running astray, you don't think about these things. You just
Right.
don't.
Yes. And it's what? Because of what? Peer pressure or because that's what they do anyway, you're going to be part of it. But
It is. It is. It's
Like at
following.
least we have
It's
some.
following the trend. It's following whatever you see. That's really what it's about. It's following what
Right.
you see. And now I know why people say that we have to guard our ear gates and our eye gates. You understand? We have to be
Right.
mindful of the things that we intake because we become that. We become that. Just like how they tell you, watch the company you keep, unless you will become that. You
Yes.
understand? So, and
Now I really want a visual representation of, like, I want you're here already, you're a catalyst for change. Your life, the way that you're giving this testimony, it's because you really want to share to the world your story.
yes.
Can you talk to this group of individuals who are doing the same thing? Talk about briefly, what is it like to be in jail?
Man,
Scare them off.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard and it's scary. It's scary, and I can only imagine for a man. You understand? But yes,
Why?
it's because it's more harder for a man because you know
Okay,
what I
all right.
mean. Like yeah,
Okay.
but even for me, yeah, it was very scary. Actually, when I first got in, and when reality hit me, I called my father back and I let him know like I don't think I can do this, and
Okay.
he said it's too late for that now. Like now you got to do it. Now you don't got no choice but to do it. You already in there. You got to stick it out. And I'm gonna be honest. And that's when he was just dropping me off to be taken in. I was just because where he dropped me off at, I wasn't gonna stay. They had to
Okay.
transport me over to
They
the original
transferred
place.
you.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
it was a lot. You know what I mean? And anytime that your freedom is gone, like you're stuck in a room, you can only
And you
do
were
what
what,
it is that
19,
someone tell you.
17? See,
Well,
what
no.
time?
By the time I got the time, I want to say I had already turned like 21 because we went. They
But
make you
still
go through
young.
like roll call and stuff like that for like a couple of years. So, but for those couple of years, my dad was driving me back and forth to Georgia to make sure that I was there. You understand?
Wow.
So that they didn't put a warrant out for my arrest. Yeah.
And I forgot, I didn't realize that if it's 17, 18, you're still going to go to a juvenile, center, because,
No,
you're
but
not
I
18.
was over.
So
Like I told you,
that's
I
why
was
you
like
really
19
went to
or
jail.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
but I'm gonna be honest. The guy brought me out. The officer brought me out when everything first happened, and he told me, he said, "Stand right here." He put me like behind this little wall, and he allowed me to hear my guy friend say that that's not mine, that's hers. He tried to put it on me.
And
So he
they still didn't do anything.
and he told me that's the reason why he had to charge both of us.
Okay, so he got his time too.
Though he got charged. I don't know what happened with him
Okay, okay.
after that.
All
I
right.
don't know
All
because I
right.
didn't follow. Yeah, I
Okay.
didn't follow through with him. That was a done deal after that because he already had put my life in jeopardy and everything like that. So it wasn't no more conversation to be had. So yeah.
So anything else that made you feel like a lost child? Did we?
Um again, I was I was running with the wrong crowd, and when I say running with the wrong crowd, I just want to iterate that the people weren't bad people. We all were making bad choices.
Yes,
You
just bad
understand? But
choices.
it's
Yes.
again when they say watch the company you keep. And I also want to throw out
Yeah.
there too that before I went to jail, my mom told me that night before I left that if you get in that car, Kiera, you're going to jail. And I didn't go to jail on the way going. I went to jail on the way coming back home.
Oh
So that's
my
also
God.
a big lesson to let people know that you must listen and obey your
Yes.
parents.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Now let's
Yes.
talk about healing. All right. So healing and transformation, Allure, don't happen overnight. We know that. It
Right.
often takes a defining moment. And you mentioned already one, or a shift in your mindset. So what was the catalyst that made you say enough is enough and push you to take control of your narrative?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. The turning point for me was when I realized I was repeating cycles. You
Okay.
understand? And that's what I was saying again about doing the same thing, you know what I mean, repetitively. That weren't and it didn't mean that I was gonna be there like how could I say it? Like when I was repeating the cycles,
Was it
I was
intentional or
trying to
intentional?
no, but I was
Intentional.
trying to I was trying to get I really wanted to get out, but it was
Okay.
so hard because I was already so used to doing the same thing. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
yeah,
It
yeah. Like
became part of you.
I still had the same mindset regardless of what I was trying to do. But the thing is, when I realized I was repeating the cycles that weren't meant for me to live in forever, of course, I had to realize that it wasn't just about me.
Right,
You
right.
understand what I'm saying? It wasn't just even about
Yes.
me anymore. It was even about now I had children.
Right.
You know, understand? Like now I have
Right.
children who looking up to me, who watching my every move, who seeing me go through this process. You understand?
Right.
Like,
Yes.
and I'm gonna be honest, and like I said, I thank the Lord that they did not allow any of it to affect them. But I also knew that I had to break generational
Okay.
patterns as well.
Yes.
So with that being said, I had to surrender to God completely. And when I did that, just to be blunt again and transparent, um, it was one night that I had popped like this little pill. They used to call it ecstasy.
Okay.
Um, I had already been talking to the Lord briefly, talking here and there, and trying to get my mojo back.
Yes.
But one
Yes.
night I popped this pill of ecstasy, and my
Was
mom
it
and
your
my
first time for that pill?
no, it
No.
wasn't. But
Okay. All right.
the thing is, it was a bad one this time. But my
Okay.
mom and my
Right.
kids were down on the other end of the hallway at that particular night, and I felt like I was about to die. And I'm gonna be honest, my heart was beating so fast, and oh Lord! And then the thing was, I was already smoking weed and doing other stuff as
Oh
well. But I knew it
no.
had to been the pill. But I like I said, I laid down on my bed and I didn't panic, but I proceeded to pray. I proceeded to pray and I told the Lord, I said, Lord, I said, please help me. You understand? Like, please help me right now, Lord. I don't know what's
Yes.
happening, but Lord, if you help me to get through this, I promise you I won't do it again. I will
Okay.
not do it again.
Right.
And
Right.
I tell him I will not pop them pills. I will not do it again. Like you can
Right.
take anything, you can take everything away from me that is not of your will. You understand?
Right.
And I'm gonna be honest. And some type of way throughout that night I fell asleep, and I woke up and I was fine. I
Wow.
was fine. Yeah.
He heard
One
you.
yeah, but
He
one thing
heard
of
you.
one and I'm gonna be honest though, it's so much more that I can say after that happened to me that
Right.
also almost put me in a detrimental state, that the Lord redeemed me from. But from that point on, I was on the road to redemption right then, and I
Wow.
didn't even know it. You understand? So
Wow.
and I said enough was enough. Enough was enough. I saw the bigger
Right.
picture. You understand? And I knew that,
Right.
oh, I don't want to go out like that. I don't want my kids to come in there and find me. I didn't do anything directly in front of them. Let me say that as
Right.
well.
Right.
But
Okay.
just if going out and doing the stuff and still coming back home is still the
Right.
same thing. You understand? But I that was a wake up call. Like I didn't
Right.
want my kids or my mom to find me and they're dead. Understand what I'm saying? Like just because I'm going to do these stuff just to have a good time. Like enough was enough, and I saw the bigger picture, and I thank the Lord for that. And my pain wasn't my purpose.
Okay.
My pain wasn't my purpose, but my testimony was and was going to be. And I didn't even know that at the time. Like
Right.
that's when
Right.
I started writing. That's when I started sketching and doing this and doing that. And honestly, that's when I was creating Real Struggle Strength, and I didn't even know that it was going to be a brand. So, and I tell people that all the time, and they laugh about it. They're like, "Wow, like yeah, it wowed me too. It wowed me too. I didn't even realize I was creating a whole brand. Like you
Wow.
understand? I didn't. That's what I'm saying. Like knowing that the pain wasn't just that wasn't my purpose. Like he
No.
has something so much more in store for me. He has so much more in store for me, and he still does even as of today.
Right.
And I have refused to let my past dictate my future. I
Love that.
instead I took my power back and I let my struggle become my strength. You understand? And I'm gonna be honest.
Yes.
I dropped my anchor and I talked with the Lord. I asked him. I said, Lord, show me what you would have me to do. And even when he started getting me to go back and forth to church, I started back going to church. I started back sowing seeds and tithing. And I'm gonna be honest. I was still smoking weed this
Right.
whole time
Okay.
while I was doing it. I was still going out and partying and drinking, but I wasn't doing those pills anymore. I did
Okay.
stop that.
Okay.
But I was still doing stuff now. I don't
Okay.
want to because I don't want to get I want you to get this clear. I was still doing stuff. You understand? But I'm gonna be honest.
Yes.
Slowly,
Baby
slowly, but
steps.
surely, slowly by surely, the Lord was bringing me out. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a few friends throughout the time that I was going through that. They started passing away. People gave them bad drugs. So, and it wasn't just the ecstasy, it was other stuff. And
Right, right.
remember that I said I used to use and sell drugs. So I was so thankful that
Yes, it didn't happen to you.
but it didn't know. The only reason it didn't come across me is because I had certain people that I would deal with. So I knew what I was getting. You understand? Other than when I got that bad pill, everything else that I would get, I knew what I was getting. Like, even if I was helping somebody else to get their package per se,
So
like
are you
I
saying,
knew what
because
I was getting.
so you're saying that, because I'm really not familiar with things like this. I'm naive.
Right, right.
So
So
a
what I'm saying is,
certain so
what
a
I'm saying is,
certain
huh?
drug can have different varying effects, even if it's the
Yes.
same. And can you,
Yes.
let's say, take from this person, I want this level. Do you do that? Or you
No, see,
just
no, that's not how it works. That's not how it
sorry.
works. You don't
Let
say I
us know.
want this level. No, what I'm telling you is they don't even know sometimes what they're getting. And
Okay.
I know you've heard
Right.
about people who had fentanyl and stuff and things that they took in, and fentanyl kills people. So that's what I'm
Okay.
trying to say. And that's was the
Okay.
things that were taking my friends out. But
Okay.
because I had a certain people, a bracket of people that I deal with personally on that level, I knew that they had the good stuff, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I knew that what they had
Okay. Wouldn't really
wasn't gonna
harm
be
you.
bad. Yeah, because
Okay.
I was helping other people who were selling it to get it as well. So I had to make sure that it was good for them. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that whoever I took them to, that it was good, that it wouldn't cause no type of interference, if per se, or trouble.
Wow. Sorry, I'm learning a lot from you. Just even that, because, like, don't laugh at me. I don't know
No,
anything
no,
about
no. I'm laughing
drugs.
at the way that you said it. That's all. And I'm gonna be honest. And guess what, though? Everything that I did in the street and everything like that, like I say, the Lord has allowed me to transform that. And now that I use it for the
Love
good.
it.
Now that I use it for the good, you understand, and to help
Yes,
somebody else. And that's why I'm not ashamed to talk about it. You
of
understand? Somebody
course.
else probably wouldn't want to say all of that, but I'm not afraid to talk about it, because if you get the book, you're gonna hear about it. You're gonna
Yes.
read about it.
Now, Allure, now that you've really shared with us every detail that you went through, that you considered yourself the lost child, now, how did that really, okay, you had the defining moment that you said, enough is enough. That's the time when you talked about that certain thing that really was so strong and you thought you were probably going to die or something like that. That's when you went
Right,
back to God and stuff like that. But you were still doing it, right?
right.
Now, what I'm curious to find out is that, did you have a change of mindset now? What steps did you really take to break free from those patterns that were holding you back? Like, when did you, like, you didn't, you said enough is enough, but you were still doing it. So when really was enough is enough? The actual one.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Again, it was a process. It was a process,
Okay.
like, literally. So like I said, I started going to church. So here you go, I'm
Okay.
in the church. Here you go, I'm here. Here you go, I'm doing this. But then everything started changing slowly by surely. That's how my mindset started coming to. Because I started getting more spiritually inclined. The Lord
Okay.
was pulling on
Or-
me. He was pulling on my spirit. He
Okay.
was letting me know. And then I decided to get baptized. And at that time, when I got
Okay.
baptized with me and my son.
Okay.
So we did it together. So and I'm gonna be honest, Stowe was doing it after that.
Stubborn little
Stowe,
girl.
yeah, Stowe was doing it after that. Stowe, but I wasn't doing it
What?
as
Because is
much.
it because you're so used to it?
I'm gonna be honest. It was a habit. It
I
was
lost
it
your.
was
I lost. Oh, there you go. Okay.
it
Yeah.
was it was a habit. It was a habit. So what I'm saying is, because like I said, it was all a process. So everything
Yes.
change don't just happen overnight. We all know
Yes.
that.
I.
But what
Yes.
I'm saying is, like, yeah, so the Lord gradually was working on me. But what I'm telling you is, after I got dropped in the water, and I'm gonna be honest, I got more more rejuvenated. And I wanted it more. I wanted to be more involved in church. Like I'm
Right.
saying, everything was kind of shifting. But even though, yeah, I was still going to smoking a little bit of weed. But the thing is, I was like I wasn't doing it like how I was. I wasn't going out as much. I
Okay.
wasn't, you understand? I wasn't,
Yes.
yeah, like the
Okay.
habits, the
So
things
there's a
that,
little change, a little bit,
yeah, yeah,
baby
it just
steps.
kept
Okay.
going and kept going and
All
kept
right.
going. And until he just took it all away.
Wow. So when? How?
Yeah,
When?
I'll be honest with you. So that ain't been no months of process. That was years of process.
Wow.
So even while I was still doing it, but right now I've been clean right now of drug free from
How
marijuana and
many years
everything.
has it
I
been?
It's been 3.5 years, going on 4 years
Wow.
right now.
That took a while. That took a
Yes,
while, Allure.
yes,
I'm just glad that you're well now, that nothing's you're okay. I'm just
yeah,
glad that you're okay. Now,
yeah.
can you tell me now, how does it feel to be drug free?
It feels awesome. Let me tell you something. The way how the Holy Spirit is over, he overtakes me. It's a high that I never felt before. You understand? And I
Wow.
would tell anybody to try this high. I would tell anybody that again to drop that anchor and walk with the Lord, to get G'd up, because it is a phenomenal experience. When they talk about the joy that the Lord
Yes.
gives, excuse me,
Yes.
that the joy that the Lord gives and the world can't take it away. It is so true. It is
Right.
so true.
Right.
And even when things transpire or something goes south over here or something goes wrong over there, you know you already have this confidence and this confidence to understand that, oh, this still is not bringing me out my element. I'm still not going to let it get to me. Because we know that life is like that. Life, how they say it
Yes.
nowadays,
Yes.
life be life, and how they say, so we know that things will happen, like, every day might not, not saying every day, because I have to correct myself, because every day can be a good day. It's all how you make it,
Okay.
despite
Right.
anything
Right.
that takes
Right.
place. So I want to make sure that I say that correctly. But every day can be a good day. It's all about how we make it. When we wake up in the morning, we have to command for our day to be a good day.
Yes.
You understand what I'm
Yes. You
saying?
own
And
your
even
life. Yes.
that's right. And even as I continue to grow in this spiritual journey, let me tell you something. I still go through stuff. Like,
Of
things
course.
still come. I'm still a human being. But what
Yes.
I can tell you is my mind is in a different place. I have a whole new outlook on my life. I
Love
have
that.
I the whole trajectory of my life have changed. You understand? And what happened was, and I always use this, but I had to check the man in the mirror. I had to check the man in the mirror. I had to
Man
ask him
in
to
the
make a
mirror.
change. You understand? Like
Wow.
Michael Jackson's
Yes.
song say,
You
"Look, I'm
have
talking
to.
about the man in the mirror." I had to literally, I had to bring myself out of that old being and to step into that new realm and to that new individual that he had me to be. And I consider myself I consider myself as one of his disciples, just as he changed over many disciples. You understand? It gave them a new name. You understand how he turned Simon to Peter. You
Oh wow.
understand? Like,
Yes.
yes, he turned Kiera to Allure Unique. He let me know that I was not defined by my past. You understand that nothing that I've been through can stop what he has for me, because nobody can stop what the Lord has ordained. And let me tell you something. He already knew that I was going to make these mistakes. He already knew I was
Yes.
going to do these things, but he had a plan for me. And I always say this on my motivational videos. He knew us
Yes.
before we were formed in our mother's womb. So that's the
Oh,
individual we should always want to aim to be. And I do want to say this as well. Before I ever went astray, I already used to write books when I was in elementary school. Used to
okay.
win awards and everything. Before I was even 10 years old, I used to write. No, I was about 10, but I used to write sermons. I even did my grandfather's eulogy, and even
Right.
one for
Right.
my
So you've been a
grandmother.
writer
You understand? So
already.
I've
Right.
been doing the things, and the best part about it was once he brought me out, he gave me my gifting
No.
back, and he gave it to me in a more
He gave it
powerful
back. Yes.
realm. He didn't
Yes.
allow my gifts to leave me. You understand? And everybody needs to know that they have some type of gifting.
Gift. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I have so much reflection on what you just said. It's like I have an overflowing reflection. Okay. First of all, I sense your power now. I see your strength. I see your power. And you know why? It's because of all the things that you went through in life. That's why you're here. That's why you have a story to share. Because you know what? The most incredible, strong people that I've been meeting lately, are those the ones that went through a lot of things in their life, and
Yes.
you made it. You just didn't. Yes, it was part of you. It was so hard for you to let it go, that addiction, those patterns that you were having when you were a child. But you know what, you made it in such a way now that it's still part of you, but you're using it for
Yes.
change, not just for
Yes.
yourself, but for others. Like, you
Yes.
wouldn't be here right now with an incredible story if you didn't go through life challenges
That's
your
right.
way. And
That's
one
right.
thing I totally agree with you that from the moment we're conceived, our path is already made for us.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Yes, you may go a little left, right, but God or whoever your higher being is already knows where you're headed. And
That's right.
part of our direction in life to be able to come up stronger, to be called Allure Unique, is you have to go through all those things. Or
Yes.
else you wouldn't be resilient, right?
Yes. Yes.
So there's so many things that you said that were just true. That, and you know what's nice? God never left you. He
That's
was
right.
there with you all this time. You were stubborn. You were still going back to those habits, but He was there for you until finally you
Yes.
realized that enough is enough. I love that.
Yes.
Thank you, Allure.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It's so
Uh,
true. But let me tell you something. When people are growing up in survival mode, it is very much a hard thing for them to come out of.
yes.
They don't
Yeah.
see any different. They don't see a way out. But I'm
Right.
here to let them know that they can come out. That's the whole point about it. Like, and real struggle stuff is not just made for people who in the street or who in a low place. It's meant for anybody who's going through any kind of struggle, whether that, again, mentally, physically, emotionally, or spiritually. It's all it's uncut, because we got to take, because one thing about God, He wants us to be real with Him, because
Right.
He already know everything about us. So even though if
Yes.
we get in front of
Yes.
people and we can pretend and act and, oh Lord, and act like we don't have these issues, no, everybody has something
Yes.
that they
Yeah.
done
Oh,
deal with,
yeah.
or
I
that they're
agree.
dealing with. Yes, ma'am.
Now, let's talk about Real Struggle Strength. I know that your company, Real Struggle Strength, our community, is built on the idea of transforming pain into power. So,
Yes.
Allure, how did your resilience and intentional growth factor into your journey? Like right now, were there any specific practices, people, or mindset that help you guide you back to your true self? Or maybe just talk about how RSS is maybe changing lives. We can,
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. RSS changed my life, because when I realized when he was giving it to me, and I when I finally realized that I was pregnant with purpose and that I had a whole brain, I was like, whoa, like
wow.
Lord, this is deep. Like,
It
Lord,
is
this is
deep.
deep. This is so good. Like, oh man, I know it's gonna help somebody else. I just know it in my heart. You understand? But let me tell you something. RSS, that's why it's like more of a movement. Because the thing is, we we're coming for anybody. We coming for all the lost souls, for all those
Yes.
who are
Oh
heavy laden.
wow.
You understand? We
Yes.
coming to wake their spirit up. We coming to let them know, because some people, when they go through these things, they don't even think that they are important. They don't even
Yes.
think that they are special. And people have turned their backs on them and did different things, you understand, to them, that
Yes.
they don't even believe in themselves. And this is all about showing them that they can have redemption, that they can be recycled, reduced, and reused as many times as necessary. You understand, despite anything, and that their focus is not on man, it should be on God alone. Because the Lord said, when you seek ye first the kingdom of righteousness, all these things will be added unto thee. You understand? So
Yes.
resilience became my foundation, but it wasn't something that I just had, it was something I built. You understand? I
Yes.
built it, and I
Yes.
only built it by allowing the Holy Spirit to lead and guide me. You understand? I only built it by being spiritually
Right.
led. And that's another thing, too, that people need to understand. We are all spiritual beings, just
We
here for
are.
an experience here on earth. And
Right.
you should want to be the best that you can be in your
I
spirit.
agree. I agree.
So you understand? And I had to stop seeing my pain as a weight
Yes.
and
Yes.
start
That's
using it as a
very
tool.
powerful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to start using it as a tool, because honestly, that's what it actually was, and that's what it is at this point. You understand? That's why we turning this pain into purpose now. You understand?
Now,
Like, we want
now, MSS, is it an in-person community or an online community,
what
or
what what was
your
it?
MSS? you said it's more of like a movement, right? So you work with groups of people, right? Is it
Oh
something
yes.
virtual community, or is it like an in-person community that you came up with?
Oh
Like, are
no,
you, do you
actually,
meet?
I'm gonna be honest with you. So when I say a movement, that's because we coming in every area. Like we trying to hit
Okay.
every area. That's what I
Okay.
meant by that. But yes, I do. I actually do come out. I do go out in the community. I do speak with different groups, organizations. I
You
speak in
should go to
churches.
schools. You should
Yes.
also go to schools, especially high schools or
Yes, yes.
college.
I'm trying to make my way there. So and let me tell you this. So this another thing that I'm a saying. Something from my background was still holding me up, but the Lord is opening up the doors
What
for me
was
now.
it?
You understand? Because I
Yeah.
still had stuff on my background, so I had to get those things removed. You understand? And I had to work on that, which I'm working on actually now. So yeah,
Until
because
you're saying you still have it now.
no, what I'm saying is, so I became my mother's caregiver for the last 10 years up until my mom
Okay.
passed. This will be 3 years. So therefore, I wasn't worrying about doing anything else. And even as I was building this brand out, and I started doing the YouTube videos, and I started the podcast, and I did this and I did that, I never was actually. That's all I was doing. But now that I want to do more, I have to work on. I have to
Yes.
get some things in order from my past in order for me to be able to move forward.
Okay.
And
Got it.
again, which is not going to stop me. It's not going to stop me regardless because I'm already doing it. You understand?
Right,
I'm doing it
right,
here in my
right.
local area, and I do it virtually as well when people ask me to. But I do a lot here in my local area. I sit with I just recently started doing this though, but I sit with some at-risk teenagers who
Okay,
are
yes.
going
Yeah.
through their process and trying to help
Right.
them to be redeemed. You understand? And that's why I say this, it's now the tool. You understand? I'm a tool. I'm a
Right.
tool.
Right.
I'm an asset for the kingdom of God, and I'm here to build the foundation. I'm here to, you understand, to make them stand on a solid rock, which is the Lord. You understand, to give it all to Him, whatever it is that they're going through. That's basically what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about,
Right.
it being a
Right.
movement. So yeah,
Yes. And
and
there's so many groups or communities that you can actually really affect or empower because
yeah,
of like your story. There's really education, corporation, church, communities.
yeah.
There's
Thank
so
you.
many.
I received that. Thank you. I got to reach out and snatch that. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. I
because it's
received
not
that.
like you're doing you're doing them a favor by sharing your story with them and actually giving them actual steps on how you got out of that lost child moment, right?
Yeah.
Now, Allure, let's talk about. I know even after doing the work, I know you said 3 years you've been free from this imprisonment of that mentality. Now, the past is a way of creeping back in through triggers or
Right.
unexpected setbacks. Now, how do you handle those moments? And what tools or strategies? I know you're a lot, a lot is like faith guided. Do you have strategies that help you stay present and continue moving forward? And maybe what about others? What can you advise them when those triggers come back?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. Triggers are real.
It
Triggers
is.
are real, and and
Yes.
the past does have a way of knocking back at the door, and it comes when you least expect it. But what I've learned along the way is that I don't have to answer. When those moments come, I pause and remind myself like of who I am now and that I can't go back. You understand? Like I can't go
Right.
back, and I know that if I go back, that I typically would be putting myself in a detrimental state again,
And cycle,
and
you're
I probably
going
will
back
be
to the cycle
it,
again.
exactly. But I also might be setting myself up for premature death at that time. You understand? Because
Right.
that's one thing that happened when you come out of something, you can never go back. And like I said, I remind myself of who I am now as an individual, not who I used to be. I turn to prayer immediately. You
Okay.
understand? I give it to God
Right.
because God is my refuge. I journal. It helps me to process what I'm feeling. You understand? I actually
Right.
write. I have motivational music as well. I write. I put in
Wow.
songs. I lean on my support system, which are my women's prayer groups, my youth prayer group. You understand? Even some my pastor. You understand? If I feel some type of way, I reach out to these people or I talk to them. But again, the first thing that I do is I pray. You know, understand? And I
Okay.
cast those thoughts down. And I don't. And I want to say I don't fight my past. I do acknowledge it. I learn from it, and I use it to fuel my purpose. And
Yes.
and the whole key for anybody is to
Love
stay
that.
grounded in the now. To stay grounded in the now. That's all it is. You cannot go back. Understand that you can't. Going backwards is not an option. It
Right.
is not an option.
And that's so true. We need to acknowledge that pain is real and we all have to face it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
But and we all have, but healing is also real. Okay, pain is
it
real,
is.
but healing is also real, no
Yes, it
matter
is.
whatever way you find it. You found it
Right,
through your spirituality. Some people will find it through counseling, you know what I mean, because everybody is different. And
right.
it's something we must actively choose.
It's
and
exactly. And I was
and
just
like
getting
what you
ready to say
said,
that. Yep, I
and
was
the
just
only
getting ready
and
to
like
say
what
that.
you
It's all
said,
a choice. It's a
the only
choice.
right, and the
And you
only
have to want it. And you have to want it.
yes,
Just like I was
yes,
saying about that
yes.
hustle. You got to
Nobody
want it
can
by any
force you to
means necessary.
change. Right.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And the only person, Allure, am I right? The only person who can truly help you heal is you.
That's true.
You need to allow yourself to grieve, to
Yes.
mourn, but you
Yes.
also need to decide when it's time to turn that grief or
Yes.
pain into healing.
Yes. 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 Definitely.
And you know
Definitely.
what's nice about you and I? We're stepping it up. We're changing this healing into empowerment. We're not just
Yes.
empowering ourselves, but we're empowering
Yes.
others,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
And agree with me that nobody can tell you how long to grieve. It took you years to,
I'm gonna
to
be
get
honest with
out
you.
of this generational curse.
It did, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Even with my mom passing, I still grieve her. You understand?
Right, right.
Even though I know that she's in heaven and she's with her mom and her dad and other siblings, and but I still miss her. But I just grieve
Yes.
it. I sometimes when I do feel it, I cry. I
Yes.
cry
And
and I
that's
release it.
okay.
And it's yeah, and I want to let it be known. It is okay to cry. It is okay to cry. It is
Right.
okay to scream. It is okay to shout, especially if you got the Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
but um, but I'm gonna be honest with you. You have to release. And again, I want to say this because I know we kind of overlapped with a conversation a few minutes ago, but this is something you have to want with all your heart,
I
with
love that.
everything inside you. And like I was saying about that hustle again, when you hustle, you gonna do it, you gonna get it by any means necessary. This is the same for your life. This is the
Wow.
same for
Wow.
your mind. This is the same for the change that you want to see in your life. You have to go get it by any means necessary.
And I just want to talk to these teens who are sometimes find themselves lost, like what you did. Because I'm a teacher, I've always worked with Title I schools, which are, those population were in the needy. They need more needs, right? Title I school.
Yes.
And I deal with students who might be in the same pattern. Yes, okay. Sometimes you explore things because of peer pressure. It's just the way of life where you live or where you're raised. But okay, sometimes we make mistakes, but the longer you put yourself into that pattern, the harder it is to move on because it becomes part of you, just like what you said. It just became a behavior or things that you couldn't stop because it's just like you're so used to doing it. So the
Yes.
longer that okay, this is fun, but then once you realize that, hey, this is not doing serving me anymore, any purpose, let go. Because like what I said, don't wait for it to be so ingrained, and it will take years for you to get out of it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Try it because sometimes you gotta try life. How will you
Yes,
know
yes.
if you don't fail? Sometimes we need to fail in order to grow.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
be also try to realize that you know when to stop.
Yes.
Know when to stop, right?
Yes, yes. You have to have a stopping point. You gotta know. And I'm gonna be honest. That's all about using common sense. So even though common
Yes.
sense isn't common
Yes.
nowadays, but it's all about using common sense. So yes,
It's
ma'am.
the easiest way out to have common sense, to don't block it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Everybody knows what's right and what's wrong.
Yes.
Then, use your common sense. Like,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And it's okay to make mistakes because that's how we're going to learn. That's how we're going
Exactly.
to learn. Okay. But
Hmm.
don't get so ingrained and deep that it's hard for you to get back up.
It's true, and that's why in my Real Struggle Shift motivational, I don't know if you have listened to some of my music, but that's the first thing
No,
that I come.
share. I will now
Yeah,
really
yeah,
look
that's the
into
first
your
thing that I
social
come in
media.
with. That's the first thing that I say. I say it takes real struggle strength to make it make sense, to use your common sense to go for the win. You
Wow.
understand? To
Wow.
throw it in the wind, make the enemy head spin. Yes,
And one more thing that I'm going to step up with what I've learned from you, use whatever gifts you have. Everybody has skills.
yes,
Everybody has gifts. Maybe because of your practices back then, you kind of hid it. It got hidden because of all the
yes,
things you were doing. Everybody has gifts in them, like in themselves. You
yes,
just need to like find it. You know, if it
yes,
takes a
ma'am.
defining moment, find it, because you know what? Everybody has something to share to the world. Like everybody is great, everybody has power. Go find it. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
ma'am.
And don't wait for the last minute wherein you're in jail. You're lucky you got out early. You're lucky.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Don't wait for the moment wherein your entire life is taken away from you,
it's
whether
true.
death or whether, like, you know what you said, you're in prison, or like you're just mentally incapable of being better. You know what I mean? Don't wait for that.
Yes,
Don't wait. Don't. No, you know. Oh my
yeah,
god, this is
it's
so
true.
powerful. This is
Yes,
really so
ma'am.
great. Now, Allure, there's so many people out there now who feel trapped in their past pain, unsure of how to step into a new chapter. We're just, you and I are lucky that we are able to step out. If someone is listening today and feeling lost, Allure, what words of wisdom would you share to help them take that first step toward healing and empowerment?
So, first, what I want you to know is you are not your past. You are not your past. And
Love
you
that.
are not beyond redemption. You
I
can be
love that.
redeemed.
I love that.
Understand that healing starts when you decide that you are worthy of more. You have to want this again, like I said before. And it will not happen all at once. It will not happen all at once. Understand that it is a process and you must endure the process step by step, day by day. You understand? Understand that you keep pushing for purpose on purpose
Right.
and live a purposeful life. Don't live careless. Don't live carefree. Live carefully. You
Wow.
understand what I'm saying? And I also want to say it, even though, even though it's going to be a process, and even though things will happen, even though trials, tribulations, even trouble may come upon, you got to keep your eyes on the prize. You got to keep your eyes focused on the change that you want to see in your life. Again, you have to push for that purpose and you have to do it on purpose. And understand that you don't have to do it alone. Pray and ask the Lord to send you forth some real righteous people who are on the same walk or journey that you are on, who can walk with you circumspectly without any judgment, without
Right.
any judgment, who can help you to come out of that pit or that valley state that you are in. You understand? Who can pray for you when you can't pray for yourself. You want to have the right individuals around you and understand that God is right there. He's in the
Always.
midst. All you got to do is talk to him as well. And I would advise you to talk to him before calling anyone else. I would advise you to call out to him because he is right there and he is waiting for you to drop that ink in him. So that's what I would leave with you today.
Allure, this has been such a powerful, important conversation. I'm so glad that you gave me this chance to share your story.
Yes, ma'am.
Allure, before you wrap up, how can our listeners connect with you? Do you have, I know you already told us about RSS, but do you have anything else to share or promote at this time?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for that
Of
opportunity. So you
course, of
can follow
course.
me on all social platforms under Allure Unique. Um, on every single platform. The difference is on my YouTube channel it is RSS Kick Talk Motivation, and that
Mhm.
is also on the podcast as well. RSS Kick Talk Motivation, but the podcast is for listening purposes only. Again, my books are out on all reading platforms. My music is out on YouTube as well, and all music streaming platforms, and it's all under Allure
Wow.
Unique. And also I do have some e-learning courses that are more in depth for teaching on the platform called The Great Discovery as well. So yes,
So
thank you
who
so
can
much.
purchase your e-courses? Just any individual who
Yes,
resonates with
and I
you.
do have some free ones on there as well. All they have to
Okay.
do is look up The Great Discovery, put slash Allure. Yes,
Well, I
ma'am.
want to make sure that when I share the podcast on all my social media, I have all the links to
Yes, ma'am.
everything that you said. All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
So that they can easily connect with you. All
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
And it,
I'll make sure that you get my link tree link because it has every single thing
all
on
right.
there.
Yes. And
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
going to like share that with everyone. And also your song. I want to hear your song. Like I want the audience to like get a glimpse of, a link to the song or something like that, or where they can
Yes, ma'am.
listen
Yes,
to your
ma'am.
song,
I'll make sure
right?
that you get that as well. Yes,
Wait,
ma'am.
did you sing it? Were you the singer?
A little bit of singing on a few of the courses, but really it's just motivational. So it's a
Okay.
little bit of spoken word and rap put
Okay.
together. But yeah.
Wow.
Hmm.
Wow. Whew. Please know that your story is your strength and your power. Please do not stop shining. And
Thank you.
please make sure that you find more ways to
Thank you,
just
Jesus.
empower others. Okay. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
There. And I just want to say to anyone listening, your past does not define your
That's
future.
right.
Just like my friend Allures mentioned. Yes, childhood trauma can shape you, but it does not have to control you.
That's right.
Finding yourself beyond the past is a journey, but it starts with a choice to heal, to grow, and to step into your power.
Yes.
Allure, I just want to say thank you
Thank
for
you.
being in my show. And
Yes,
I
ma'am.
hope this is not the last time that we collaborate and
Yes,
connect.
ma'am. I look
I'm
forward to it.
always
Yes,
here to
ma'am.
share whatever new things that you have. All right.
Thank you
Again,
so much.
of
Thank you so
course,
so much. God bless you. Yes, ma'am.
you too.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I give all the glory back to God. You
Yes.
understand? I would not be here.
Yes.
I wouldn't be able to do this without Him, without
I
His Holy
agree.
Spirit leading and guiding me and protecting and shielding and keeping me. You understand? To allow me
Yeah.
to be here to do what I'm doing today. So
Well,
all the glory goes back to Him. I don't accept any credit for anything.
wow.
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
thank you, Lord God, for having Allure as one of my guests. I appreciate it. There's always a
Yes.
reason why things happen, and I truly believe that.
Yes, ma'am.
Again, thank you everyone for tuning in. Until the next time, keep striving for intentional excellence. Have a good evening, my friend Allure. You
You
are
too.
unique in your own way. And to
Thank
everyone,
you.
have a good evening.
All
Take care,
right. God
everyone. Bye
bless.
bye.